Turkey has put out a few names in the past. Benavidez was one. And
Hmm.
my thing is, you know, I would say no to Benavidez if I'm Crawford, unless they come in with like 70, 80, 90. Yeah,
Oh no, it's gonna be 100.
yeah, well, then you gotta take it. You know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah,
you gotta take it if it's $100 million, because that solidifies your. I mean, he already got generational wealth, but you get what I'm saying. Or
right.
they might give him a substantial amount for, because he seems like he likes Boots as well. I think Crawford beats Boots. I
That's
cannot
easy.
see him. Yeah, I mean, I cannot see him beating Benavidez. And again, I'm a reformed Terence Crawford hater. I'm reformed now, guys. But I just can't see him beating Benavidez. I think he's just too big.
Right. And that's why I said it's an asterisk on that because again, like my boxing knowledge is I take what I know. We've been around the sport our whole life, and then I go ask Red. You know what I mean? And I'll be like, Red, what do you think? And then he'll tell me what he think. But I just feel that's not a real fight. Like Canelo was a real fight. Like
Hmm.
I don't feel the Benavidez is a real fight because it's not fair. It's not fair to either one of the guys. It's not fair to Bud. It's not fair to Benavidez because it's like Benavidez just because Bud can beat Canelo, that don't. I mean, just because Bud can fight Canelo, and we would say that's a fair fight. It's not necessarily a fair fight for Bud to fight Benavidez.
He's too big.
Canelo, yeah, it's just not. And then it's like again, if the man can't make the weight, and then you wait, and he be drained come fight night, and then Bud pick him apart. What props would he get from that? You know what I mean?
Fair.
They'd be like, "Oh, you didn't face him at his time." Same way what they saying about Canelo. Anytime Bud destroys somebody, they're going to bring up something, and because that fighter never fights the same again. It's like Bud rips their dignity out. It's like he does something. Like go back and look at all the guys that was undefeated, or people was calling them the next challenger. He takes something away from them, and I'm not saying Canelo, uh, can't fight again because I would love to see Canelo fight again. Canelo's my favorite, Mexican fighter. But at the same time, it's like they never become the same after fighting Terence Crawford. And then people say, oh, Canelo was too old. You know what I mean? They said, oh, Earl was drunk. Or they say Earl was on something. Or they say Earl, after the accident. Earl beat up people after the accident. He break Uga's eye? He
He
broke
did.
Uga's, yeah. So it's like Bud he'll never get his credit. People ain't gonna give Bud his credit all the way until he's retired and he's gone. Like that's just
Yeah.
what it is.
No, man, and I see it from both lenses, right? Because I've been on one side of the fence. I've always had Terence Crawford as number one, but
Right.
I always had doubt in my mind because you know some of the competition and how they fared after they fought Crawford. But to me, the icing on the cake, if you will, was moving up 3 weight classes because that regardless of what you have to say about Canelo, you could say Canelo was old, tired, weight drain, whatever you want to say. Crawford had to deal with moving up 3 weight classes. Period. End of story.
Right.
So the two things for me offset. If you want to believe that, then he still had to deal with this. They offset, and it was a masterful performance. And I started getting a little nervous when Bomac was saying it was going to be a masterpiece. I'm like, fuck, he's starting to talk like he was talking before Spence. But nah, man, it was a great fight, and Crawford really does deserve all the credit that he gets now. I mean, I think he's getting a newfound respect from a lot of boxing fans, and just the performance, and even though they tried to cheat him, which I did a video on that, I said those judges are some bad
Yeah, that
judges.
was crazy. That was the
Yeah,
only one that was cool is the judge that uh what was it, 116, 112? Or was it
yeah.
115, 113?
I think it was two
He
115, 113s and one 116, 112, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, he said even Andre Ward said that's the judge that normally gets it right. A lot of times. Shakur was just on Gilbert them show. He said the same thing. Like that's a judge that normally gets it right. So it's like those other judges was probably biased because they had it going into the 12th round as a draw.
I know. How
Right. So
wild is
if
that?
Bud would have lost that 12th round, it would have been a split draw.
Yeah.
So it's like,
Crazy,
and he
dude.
literally, yeah, right. And he literally, if you look at Bud Face, just go back to the Madrimal fight and look at Bud Face, and go look at Bud Face for after the Canelo fight.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? He even said, "I'm not gonna get hit like that again, bro. I know what I'm doing." You know what I mean? He's like, I call Bud Goku, like from Dragon Ball Z. I promise you, because anybody he faced, not just in boxing, anything in life, once he faces that, it's like he consumes that, and he gets better. He downloads everything and he gets better. He trains a certain way and he gets better. I was at the house till probably like 1 a.m. This how much this dude loved boxing. I was at the house on Tuesday till like 1 a.m. and Bud was just on the couch. We watched the fight 4 times. We
Mm.
watched that fight 4 times. And I'm just like, bro, he was like, I'm tired now. I'm about to go to sleep. I was like, yeah, I'm about to go home too. But that's just how much he loves boxing. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's how much of a perfectionist he is. I'm telling you, he's Jordan. He's Jordan of boxing right now. Whether you want to say he Jordan, whether you want to say he Kobe, you know what I mean? Like that's who he is of boxing. It's just like people not gonna understand it for the fact that it's not time for them to understand it yet, you know. But they will understand it. Like you're looking at probably the greatest boxer, one of the greatest boxers to do it.
No, he's in my top 10 now. I know there's a lot going around talking about him or Mayweather. I don't think that that's a fair. I hate
No, we
comparing
don't.
generations. I don't like doing
Yeah,
that.
we don't.
Um,
Mayweather one of Bud's favorite fighters. Mayweather is my favorite fighter. So it's like
yeah.
we don't do all that. We don't do all that.
All right. So Bud just relaxing now, man. We got the parade next weekend, and then I guess some time off, and then we'll start to hear about his next plans.
Yeah, he said he gonna parade next weekend, and after the parade, it's gonna be a party. I don't go to parties. I'm not a party person. I might go, but I ain't went to. Yeah, I normally stay back with the kids and watch the kids and stuff and chill with the kids. But then after that, I know he said he's going to travel the world a little bit. You know what I mean? Ain't nowhere he ain't been, but I mean he's
Yeah.
gonna travel the world a little bit, and then we'll hear about his next moves. I say probably January, December. You know what I mean? January, December. He'll probably start talking and tell people. I think again. I think he's thinking about once because he said 160. He
Mm,
said it out of his own mouth. He said it in the press conference. He said 160. So it's like I think if one you can do 160 in a year. If Turkey, I would love for Turkey to do. Remember when Andre Ward them had them tournaments?
yeah. The
I
Super
would I
Six.
would love I would love for it to be just like a super four. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
The guy with 2 belts that you said, Aldane, Bud, and Lara. You know what I mean? Winner moves on. That's just 2 fights.
Yeah.
And to become undisputed. You know what I mean? And I would love for that to happen. But again, I'm sick of seeing them fight. Not as I'm talking about like nerves. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like as
Yeah.
being his family. I'm sick of seeing him fight. He ain't got nothing else to prove because he
No.
proved everything. They locked him out when he was with Top Rank, you know, and they used that other side of the street, talk. But it's like look at all of those guys that use the other side of the street excuse, and then look at him now. Look where he's at. He's on top. So how do you try to um, basically throw dirt on a man named that all he want to do is fight the next man, fight the best.
Yeah.
But y'all try to phase him out. And look, he ended up being on top. This is God's plan, bro. I always said that. That's why I'm able to predict the things that I predict when it comes to Terence Crawford's boxing career because I've been around it since we've been kids, since you know what I mean? Since we existed. And it's like everything lined up perfectly. It's just all God's plan, and can't nobody do nothing to mess with that.
I got one last question. I'm gonna go ahead and let you bounce, man. But I'm definitely
Mm-hmm.
gonna get you back on for sure. You said Boost is easy work. How does Terrence
Boost
Crawford
too.
beat Boost?
Boost too. Boost make a lot of mistakes, and he get hits a lot. He pulls his punches too, and all of that. And I love Boost. I talk to Boost's cousin all the time. Like me and
Yeah.
Boost's cousin is real close. But Boost the future. I feel like it's almost like how if Bud would have fought Floyd. Not saying Bud couldn't be Floyd, But I'm saying, like, think about it. If Bud would have fought Floyd when Floyd was still fighting Berto and them, do you think Bud was really ready? You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
he's not. He didn't hit. He was still what? Bud was still what?
40
135? No, 135. I think
at
he was 135.
in 15.
Yeah,
Okay.
Gamboa them. That's right after Gamboa and all them.
Yeah,
You know what I
yeah,
mean?
yeah.
That's what.
Okay.
And he didn't reach his maximum. Like when Bud fought, everybody say, "Oh yeah, he got touched up by Gamboa. He got stunned and all this." It's like the stronger Bud gets, the better he is. You know what I mean? He wasn't at his final form. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? So it's like I wouldn't have wanted him to fight, Floyd. And then what have Boots done in boxing as far as like Boots never got a regular championship that he actually fought for.
No, yeah, he
He
did.
he, he where
When he
he was
beat when
given
he
that. They
No, no,
traded
no.
they traded for
The first one he was given, but then he beat Stanionis.
he be okay. Well, what belt was that?
Uh, the WBA.
Okay, I apologize then. I apologize for that. But again, I'm still. What has he done to be able to get a Terence Crawford fight? I think it's more people that deserve a Terence Crawford fight if Bud don't retire. You get what I'm saying? Like
I hear
I
you,
don't
but
think.
let me press back on that a little bit because when I hear that, I think about, and we were talking about this in the Discord. That's the same thing that was done to Crawford when they were saying, "What has he done? He doesn't have a belt, so forth and so on." So
No,
no, but no,
no,
let me
it
finish.
wasn't though.
But let me
Okay,
finish. Let me finish. But my thing is, I don't like to make the create a narrative about what a fighter deserves because then we can start to say, well, Benavidez didn't deserve a fight. Avanesian didn't deserve a fight. Porter didn't deserve a fight. You see what I'm saying? Like I don't like to go
mm-hmm.
there. My thing is, I just keep it simple, just like this, right? Simple as this. Terence Crawford has the right to not face Jaron Ennis because he's done enough in the sport, and that is not something that's going to add to his legacy. Put done, end of it. We don't got to talk about what the fighter has done. Period. Terence Crawford has done enough in this sport to deserve to go down the path of his choosing. And if that's
Right.
160, then you go down to 160. Now, if somebody want to give Terence Crawford 70, 80, 90, $100 million to go fight Boots, then he can go
No, for
fight
sure,
Boots. But
for
but
sure.
if you're not paying him, he don't have to fight Boots. And that's the way I
I
see
appre-
it.